Hi guys, welcome back to another art video. In this one I am painting this canvas. This used to be the aerial view of fields painting, which I have done in a previous video. I hated it in the end. Even after like a day or so I said I liked it, it stopped growing on me and I started hating it. So I wanted to cover it up. I've used the Paynes grey that I had used for around the edges of the canvas to just cover the whole thing. I've done one layer, but it's quite a thick layer. It hasn't covered up any of the texture, so there's still like little ridges and bumpy bits everywhere. And so that will hopefully add something a bit interesting to this next piece, although I'm sure I will use many layers to cover it up. I'm just going to do an abstract piece today. I think I might have said in previous videos I'm going to try and steer away from that lovely turquoise colour that I have been using, just to try something different, but I think it's going to look really nice on this Paynes grey, and I've not done that yet, so I'm sure there'll be some turquoises and blues going on here somewhere. Yeah, I've got this new setup. I think this might be the first video that I'm actually posting that's using this new setup. I bought this from Hobbycraft a little while ago. I bought it so that I could do some artwork outside and perhaps take it with me if I wanted to go on a walk and do some painting. I haven't really used it very much just yet, mainly because it's a little bit of faff to set up and I can't actually see myself taking it out on a walk, but I definitely will be using it more outside when we come back around to the summer months. Although it's a beautiful day today, I'm trying out my new walking trainers I bought yesterday and I want to like walk around today as much as possible and see if they are actually comfortable. So I'm not going outside, and it's a little bit chilly. It's October the 15th, the day of recording this, so it's a lovely sunny winter's day basically. So I'm inside today painting, but yeah, I kind of like this setup. I like that I can have it this height. I'm not sure if I've done it right with the ledges. There's like ledges down here, I think it's probably out of shot, and then there's this bit that it's sat on, so I'm not sure if it should go underneath this little ledge or between these two, but this way it means it's up at head height. That means I'm not bending over, so it should be more comfortable, and hopefully I'll be more comfortable wearing my trainers as well. So I really want to start doing some of my bigger canvases that I bought, but I'm still a bit nervous to do them and want to have a bit more practice before I waste a ton of paint on a massive canvas basically. So this is another practice before I get onto the big ones. But yeah, enjoy! I don't know if you can tell, but I'm struggling to see what I'm doing because it's backlit from the window here. Not sure how to rectify this and continue to have good footage. I'm going to do some adjusting of where everything's placed and come back to you. At the moment this is giving like peacock vibes, which I like. We've got some greeny yellowy colours mixed in with some turquoises. I don't know how clear the colours are coming out on there. I guess it's a little distance away from the camera, so you might not be able to see it as well as I can up close, but yeah, it's a start. Anyway, let's rearrange the room and see if we can make this better. Okay, we're back. This is better. I'm cold, as you can probably tell from my purple lips, so I went to put a jumper on. Realised I already had blue paint on my face, so it's going well. This is so much better. I can see all the colours so much better. I'm not having to like move my head in front of the camera to see what's going on everywhere. So this is better. I am loving this colour palette currently. I think it looks great and I'm going to build in it. I wonder if adding some yellow in, wonder if it'll work. It'll end up blending in with everything else, but some little pops of yellow in some places might look nice. But I'm going to keep going with this, build up the layers a little bit more, and then potentially start adding some layers in using the palette knife, create something a little bit thicker in some areas. Those lovely colours. This turquoise paint that I just put there is really cheap stuff from the range, and it's quite translucent, so those first layers that were going on were very translucent, but seem to be working a bit better now, so that's good. Just got to build it up. Build up them layers. Looks kind of strange with all the dots and stuff in the background, so I guess I'm gonna have to add some dotty texture in at some point. But yeah, and I'm not really sure how to get up here and do it nicely. And down here I've already covered this in paint. I really wanted to keep this nice, but I'm thinking I should probably not be so precious over it because it is an artist tool, so it is going to get covered in paint and I just need to be okay with that. But yeah, if you see me jigging about, it's because I'm listening to Spotify. I've got dance classics and I think it's, yeah, like 90s dance anthems. So we just had a bit of Show Me Love, which is something I remember from when I was at school. We did, it's called Safe Drive, Stay Alive, which is like a workshop or day event type thing where you're told about safe driving and they show you videos of car crashes and stuff to scare you. It was like later years of secondary school, like just before we were all starting to learn to drive. So as we walked into the hall where this was going on, they were playing You Got to Show Me Love. That one. I think it's called Show Me Love, must be. I don't know the names of songs, but I like listening to them. Yeah, so they played that, so that song always reminds me of going to that event and reminds me that I need to drive safe, which I do, of course, always. Right, I'm gonna get some tunes back on and continue painting. Absolute chill.
I can't get no sleep.
Wow. I like it so far. I'm not entirely convinced on the yellow edition where it's kind of greeny. I like the vertical technique that I'm using. I'm gonna have to add some bits in that are not vertical on top of it because of the texture that's in the background. I think it just looks a bit weird, like there's like I've painted a vertical thing on top of something that wasn't. So yeah, I'm gonna have to add some more layers of stuff on top. I have run out of my turquoise on here now. Yep, it's all dried up. Loads of white left, so I'm sure I'll end up finding a way to incorporate it and use it all up somehow, but I think this needs to change, this yellowy, greeny kind of colour. I'm actually going to Google a peacock and see if it inspires me any more. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. I like the colours. I like the style, and I like that it's on this dark background. Moody, I like it, which I wouldn't have normally liked that kind of thing. I like bright colours, or I actually quite like muted tones, but I haven't managed to make anything that's very muted yet. But let's let that dry, get some more inspiration from some peacock pictures, I think, because that's the way it's going, and do some more dancing.
Find a place for you and me. This is like a flashback. This is like
Okay, so I went away and googled peacock and ended up making it lighter and less like a peacock. I still really like it. What ended up happening was I mixed up some colours that I thought would be right, and then they ended up being too pale. That's what I then put on with the palette knife, and it was once I put it on that I realised it was wrong. So spread it in a few areas and then tried to like blend it out a bit and cover it up with some other colours. But yeah, I think it's getting there. I really like how it looks. I think what I'm going to do now is I've dried this. I took it off over there, took it off to sort of do the tops properly, top and bottom properly, where this thing is in the way. So yeah, I did that, and then I've dried it with a hairdryer. And now where the texture is, I think what I'm going to do is use a dry brush with some white paint and kind of just do something in those areas, trying to just catch the tops and just see what happens. It's probably going to ruin it, and I'm going to have to keep trying to fix it somehow, but I want to bring out the texture a little bit more so it looks intentional and not like I've covered a piece of artwork. So yeah, let's give that a go. I might actually put this on the floor now so that I can do some flicking as well and it not end up all over my wall. Yeah, I've made a mess. I've got paint on my painting apron, which I guess is fine, but a little bit annoying. Luckily I haven't got anything on my shoes just yet, which is good, so it means I can return them if they're not comfortable, but they are comfortable so far. Yeah, okay, let's get this on the floor and potentially ruin it. It's not really picking it up. The paint isn't sticking to the texture, like the tops of the little bumps and stuff, how I thought it would. I don't know how much. I don't want to put too much on my brush. Maybe I'm not putting enough. Does that work? Can you see? It's a bit Frankenstein, isn't it? Now, but this is giving me like moody Russian film and it's snowing. Those kind of vibes. Couldn't tell you why. I don't love it anymore. It's drying dark, it's too dark, and this snow isn't working. What if I use my palette knife on those concentrated areas of white and turn them into actual patches of white rather than just dots? I thought I was finished, I was about to pack up, and now I'm like, maybe that will look better. In the camera, you can't, well, from where I'm standing, I can't really tell that they're little clusters of dots. They just look like little patches of white. Perhaps I need to make them pop a little bit more, make them more contrasting, and it would use up the last of my white on the palette. So maybe I do that. This could ruin it even more than I already have done. It's actually picking up on, like, it's catching on some of the texture using the palette knife, so maybe this is the way to go. That's any better, really. It did kind of what I was hoping it would do and sort of pick up the texture in the background. The white is now sort of caught on top of a lot of the lines and the like ridges and stuff, as well as adding extra white around it. It's made it more interesting, but I don't know if it's made it better. I'm pretty sure it hasn't made it better. It's not made it worse, but it's not made it better. Let me stand back. That looks alright from further back, I guess. I think I'll leave it there. There we go, guys. That's the finished thing. Ta-da! I think it's okay. It looks better now. It's up on the easel with the light on it, like framing up the shot. I was like, actually, it looks okay. I like the colours, of course. It's got that turquoisey blues and greens and stuff in there that I really like to use. It's a bit of a different experience using them on top of the Paynes grey. It's created this like darker, moody kind of vibe, which I thought I was liking, but I'm not sure now. It's not something I would have on my wall, I don't think, those colours. I think I would rather have something that was a bit more lighter, more whites in the background, or just in the main piece, rather than just having whites as like a highlight on top of bits. I think I would rather have something on my wall that was a little bit more light in general. But I enjoyed the process. I had fun. I have learnt not to cover my paintings and try and paint on top of them with these random textures in the background, because it just makes it restricts you a little bit more. I think you've either got to try and make a feature of the texture in the background or try and cover it up. And because I was going with this more vertical aesthetic and all of these textures in the background were doing all kinds of things from where I was basically creating fields in the background previously, it just was clashing. It wasn't working, so I had to make a feature of them, of the textures, otherwise it just would look weird, and it still kind of looks weird. But I don't know, it's a thing, it's a practice. I had fun. It was a fun Sunday morning activity. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.